Hello, WW. My name is Shayna Dumont, and I've been the Wavelength audio video producer since April 2022, which was spring quarter of my freshman year. So I've been working with Wavelength around 3 years now, meaning that I've spent almost every quarter creating videos for the school and doing what I do in school. Throughout my time at Western, I'd be friends with upperclassmen and hear about their experiences as they're about to graduate. Usually, like hearing about anxiety or just a general uneasiness about graduating. And now it's winter quarter. It's currently my last quarter at Western, so I will be graduating in the next few days. It's finals week right now, so I technically have finished all of my actual in-person classes, which is kind of crazy. But that means now I have that general feeling of uneasiness and anxiety. Every time I would hear about upperclassmen's experiences, they'd have that general anxiety over the question, so what are you going to do with your life? Because let's be honest, what is next? I don't know. No one knows. You have this general idea of it after college. You hear like, what are you gonna do? But as you're going through school, you're not really focused on that. You're actually like paying attention to your studies, which is of course important. That's the reason why you're there, is to get a good education and to be able to have something after. But when that after comes, it's kind of out of nowhere. I thought I'd begun to feel this anxiety as it was my last quarter, but then about 3 weeks before finals was when it really kicked in, was when I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do with my life? Everything I've known for the past 4 years, or not even just 4 years, the 16 years of my education, I've had a structure. You have this plan. Like, even when you get out of high school, you kind of have this idea of like, oh, like I can go to school. I can continue doing that. And then you still have that class structure. And getting into college and that feeling like first year and just like the next few years, you really feel like you're becoming an independent adult and you feel like now this is the real world. But that's not true. And I thought it was true. And then now I'm realizing it's not true. It's like it's like a sneak peek of the real world. It's like attitude-wise, that's pretty much the real world, but structure-wise, not at all. And that's because it's kind of our duty to make the structure. My mind for the past 2 weeks has been, oh my God, what the hell am I gonna do? What am I gonna do with my life? And since I work as a student employee, I'm not gonna have a job once I graduate, which I think is definitely part of the anxiety, but that's pretty natural. I mean, most students getting out of college do not have a job lined up, and that's probably like the biggest point of anxiety for most of us, I'm guessing. For some people, it might be moving back home. I personally am choosing not to move back home. I'm at least choosing the option to stay in Bellingham. That's an adamant decision that you're making that will determine the people you're going to be with and maybe the job that you're going to find. For example, choosing to stay in Bellingham, as someone getting out of post-secondary education, it's kind of a little bit of a toss-up. The job market in Bellingham, not the best, because it's a small town. I mean, it's pretty big if you think about it. Like, our school is like 16,000 people, and that's only the school. Like, think about the whole population. There's a lot of people in Bellingham, and there's a lot of places to work as well. But if you're getting out with a degree, you're kind of looking for like something with a salary, something that is a livable wage, you know? And so in order to ease my mind and ease the minds of the other people who are graduating right now, my goal was to research as much as I could about what should you do with your life after school? What do you do after graduation? I was lucky enough to start with an interview from a WW alumni, so we'll begin with that. What are the next steps you think people should take after graduation?
Yeah, well, obviously, first things first, do something fun, maybe a graduation party. But then when it comes to maybe taking more serious steps, I would say find a place to work that's really fun where you can build your confidence, because I think it's great to get into your field, but I think more important than that is soft skills, learning how businesses run, believing in your ability to be part of that business and be a bigger picture in that business. The bottom line, no matter what area of business you're in, is businesses are, there to make money and serve a purpose. And I think if you can come into that with confidence, knowing that you serve a purpose too, then I think that's a helpful step. People get caught up in being like, I need to get into something that's like going to look good on my resume. But I think more than that is like building yourself up is the like most important step.
What advice do you think is crucial for living your best life?
I work in a family business, and my mom has always taught me that whatever your career should be, should really support your lifestyle. You know, I think people can sometimes get a little caught up in wanting to go to work and love every aspect of their job, but like life is holistic and we're not going to like every part of life all the time. And so I think if your career supports your schedule, and the salary of your career supports your goals there too, I think that's great. I think one way to achieve that is by every year checking in on yourself and asking yourself, what are my goals for this year? Creating a schedule and a budget is super important for that.
And then our last question, do you think grinding out your career first or going to travel and experience stuff would be a better choice?
I think like trust your gut with it, because even if you look at like the workforce nowadays, people are a lot more flexible because that's like what is desired. So like, for example, in our company with our employees, we had someone who was like, hey, I have this amazing opportunity. I've been invited to travel in South America for 2 weeks, or actually I think they were gone 3 weeks. And we were like, yes, go for it. Like, and they were able to still like touch base and like do the things they needed to do. So I guess my point in saying that is I think that you can try out both and see which works the most. If you find like, I want to travel right now, but the things I want to do don't support how much my budget has, then I'm going to work for a little bit and then I'm going to go do that.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, and best of luck. Congratulations. Like I said, go celebrate, do something fun. It's a big accomplishment. Celebrate the wins in life. That's what I always say. Now
I'm going to read some general advice that I found on the internet, most from like advice columns or like just little blogs. First thing, feel happy and enjoy the moment. Next, take time to think about what you wish to do. What is that something big you want to achieve in life? Take time to look within and ask, what is that which I am passionate about? Discover what really drives you. This is an opportunity to take stock of your strengths and abilities and put in action your passions that will keep you inspired for the rest of your life. Also, decide or act on these things. Do you want to study further? If yes, go to grad school, get an internship. This doesn't mean you have to stop college right now. Personally, for myself, financially, I cannot continue school. I do know with grad school that a lot of them give out big scholarships. I know someone who got a full ride scholarship once he graduated. And if not, you can look for internships where you'll also be learning. Prepare a resume highlighting your strengths. Prep a 150-word introduction answering to tell me something about yourself. That's something you should definitely have for interviews. They're always going to ask you that basically every time. I think every single job interview I've ever had, they're always asking, tell me about yourself. Discuss your plans with your peers, friends, family, and seniors. But also, that's a big thing with this. No one can dictate your life. This is your life. I know going through school, for me personally, and I know a lot of others, it feels very safe to kind of have like that road paved out for you where you know what you're doing. So once you're out of school, there's that pull to really take in advice. Like, where's the person who's going to tell me what to do? But that's the thing. There's not someone who's going to tell you what to do. Like, the person who should tell you what to do is yourself. And believe me, to those who are like, no, that's the worst thing ever, I don't want to think about that, I get it. That's basically what I've been fighting the past few weeks. Also, you can take a few weeks off. You can go travel before joining your job, or go home and have some time with your friends and family. Maybe just have like a week to yourself where your main goal is just to think, what do I love? What do I want to do? And it doesn't have to be specifically what do you want to do, because that's kind of the big question. So you're supposed to take it in tiny steps and go like, what are my favorite things? What am I really good at? What could I talk about forever? Shoot for the moon. No one can stop you right now. There's literally nothing that should keep you from doing this. Until someone has said no, there's nothing you can't do. Like, that's something I struggle with as well, is like actually just like shooting for it, just going, just apply. And if you feel like you don't have like a good resume or a good cover letter or something, you can literally email it to the Career Services Center on our campus and they will review it within like 2 to 4 days, I think, and then they'll send it back to you. You can like meet with them for appointments. They've got a bunch of workshops. I've already been to multiple of them. They're very nice. But yeah, if you're like really unsure about what you want to do, the Career Services Center is open not only to students, but alumni. So So after you've graduated, you are still fully welcome to go to the CSC, which is an old man, and you can go there. You can do in-person meetings, you can do Zoom meetings, you can do whatever with them, and you're also able to still go to the career fairs as well. Out of all the advice that I was looking at, this was by far my favorite because it gives you a plan or what to do, basically. Not to do with your life, but how to figure out what you want to do with your life. And so this is by Mysterious Fee 7577, and they titled it Tips I Wish I Gave Someone for Navigating Life After College. I don't feel like anyone really prepared me for what to expect after graduating college and entering the real world. I wish I had a pal who walked me through what to expect and how to prepare. Well, now that I've gone through it myself, this post is my attempt at being your pal for it / when you go through this transition, my existential crisis. When I graduated, I dealt with a lot of anxiety. I've been incredibly nervous to leave school since it was everything I knew for the first 22 years of my life. I knew how to follow the syllabus, take tests, and operate in a structured environment. I was terrified to step into the real world, and when I did, it felt like I had been thrown into an ocean and told to swim, except I didn't know how to or where to start. I tried expressing my fears and grievances to literally anyone who would listen. I ranted to friends, I talked to a career coach, and more, but I still felt stuck, confused, scared, and alone. I started to realize that my whole life, I'd always been told what to do, whether it was my parents, teachers, or society. There's always been a predefined set of goals to work towards. When I graduated, I kept trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do next? What am I supposed to be doing with my life? But for the first time, I didn't have an answer. There was no one telling me what to do. I felt paralyzed. The turning point. I realized that I needed to start learning how to define goals for myself, rather than relying on any third party to define it for me. This wasn't going to be easy, but I had to be in charge of my own life. For the first time, I had to decide what to do next. This was both terrifying and potentially empowering. It's now been a few years since I've graduated, and I've started to feel more confident with how to define goals for myself and make the necessary steps to work towards them. Here are my 5 tips for how to best navigate the real world and learn how to start setting the direction of your own life. Tip 1. Be kind to yourself. Your emotions are normal. Struggling with this transition is more common than you think. I'm saddened that I had never heard of this until after graduating, but post-graduation depression, while not an official diagnosis, is used to describe extreme sadness and impaired functioning that recent grads report after they leave college. Therapists say it is understudied and underreported, but anecdotal evidence confirms it's a real phenomenon, and one that is increasing in frequency. So I want you to know that if you're struggling with this transition, you are not alone. Whatever you're feeling, fear, sadness, stress, confusion, anxiety are all common feelings to arise in this state. Why do many people experience post-grad depression and anxiety? Well, you're in a major life transition, and transitions take time. You're grieving the old version of your life. Stress of finding a job and navigating the workforce, financial pressures, general adulting. No one is telling you what to do anymore, and you may be the first in your family to experience this transition. Your friends aren't in close proximity anymore, so there is less community to talk with about your struggles. Living in a new city or living back at home with your parents are adjustments. And a big one, social media is making you feel like we see people thriving and wonder, why am I so behind? Why haven't I figured this out yet? Why is everyone doing better and more than me? And the answer, social media is fake and they probably don't have it figured out either. So first and foremost, I want you to know that it is okay to not be okay right now. It is time to be kind to yourself as you navigate this transition. And getting a therapist to help through this can never hurt. Tip 2, think smaller. You don't have to know what to do with your life. I kept asking myself, what am I supposed to do with my life? But soon I realized I was asking the wrong question. You don't have to know what you want to do with your life. That question is far too daunting, and on a time scale, that feels overwhelming. And frankly, most people don't have an answer for that anyway. Instead, start with, what do you want to do next month? Who do you want to try and aim to be in this next month? Suddenly, we go from a goal that feels daunting and impossible to define to a goal that feels achievable and within reach. As fun as it is to dream big, if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's important to think about what's in front of you first. Tip 3, find direction. Scrap the shoulds and listen to what you want. For quite possibly the first time in your life, there's no more right answers or shoulds. You don't have to do anything in particular. So how should you spend your time? I recommend starting with 2 simple thought exercises. 1, what makes you happy? What do you do just for you? When are you having so much fun that you lose track of time? When have you felt most proud of yourself? Second thought, what goals might you want to achieve this month? What's bothering you most lately? How might you be able to change that? You can think of these questions with regard to work, community, living situations, hobbies, finances, family, and more. 1. This is an exercise for you to listen to what you authentically want. Reminder that you're not starting from a blank slate. I know you may be accustomed to being told what to do, what to work on, and how to spend your time, but you are a person who has interests, ideas, goals, motivations, and more that has been shaped and molded over the course of your 20-something-year-old life, and you can use those as a starting point to define what you want to do next. Make this document flexible. If you're finding it hard to come up with answers in one sitting, that's okay. Come back to it, add ideas as they come up. The next time you notice yourself feeling happy, 2 weeks later, write down about what sparked that. This exercise flexes a muscle you might not have used before, listening to what you authentically want rather than what others might want for you. 2. I know these might sound cheesy, but here's why it's helpful. What makes you happy signals what you can lean into and do more of, and what might you want to achieve this month signals what you can move towards. For me, when I answered these questions, I learned about how I could lean into hiking, cooking, and connecting authentically with friends to bring me more joy in my day-to-day life. And I learned that I wanted to move out of my childhood home. Tip 4. Take a baby step. So you have direction, but now what? Goals can be daunting. How can you get started? The next step is to break down your goal to find the easiest baby step. I said that I wanted to move out of my childhood home. Now I break that down into a smaller, manageable baby step. I could say something more specific like, I want to move out of San Francisco in a sublease. But even this overwhelmed me. Questions like, how do I find housing? What websites do I use? How much time will it take? Who will I live with? How do I buy furniture? Start to flood my thoughts. This stress means my goal is not broken down enough. Instead, I need to define what is the smallest step forward that I could take tomorrow to make progress on my goal. Here's what I decided. I can text one friend asking what Facebook group to use to find housing. An easy and manageable step for me. A baby step that I felt comfortable getting started on tomorrow. As the days went by, I would go and look into each Facebook group and I challenged myself to message 3 people. I did that every day for a few days. That turned into touring a few homes and within a few weeks, signing up for a 3-month sublease that got me out of my childhood home. As I took each baby step, I felt more and more confident taking the next step. Confidence research actually shows this phenomenon to be true. Confidence is being willing to take the first step as you practice taking those steps. It leads to competence, which in turn feeds back into our confidence. Taking action quite literally builds confidence. So I always recommend, if your next step scares you, the next step isn't small enough. And always remember to celebrate yourself as you start to move forward on your baby steps. You got this. Tip 5, rinse and repeat. This is my reminder to you that my 5 tips will not be a linear path. Some days you'll feel good and some days you won't, and that's okay. A few steps forward and a few steps back is normal. When you're feeling down, go back to tip number 1 and remember to be kind to yourself. And transitions take a while. If you're feeling good, head over to tip number 4 and get started on your baby steps. Switching between all the steps is more than okay. You're doing great. In conclusion, this transition takes time, but my hope is that by following these tips, you can become somebody who trusts themselves and has started to build the life you want for yourself. There's so many different paths you can take, places to explore, people to meet, opportunities to jump into. It may feel terrifying now, but it's also exciting and empowering. I'm proud of you, and I hope these tips will help you feel more ready to take on the real world. That was my favorite entry I've read so far. Pretty much everything that was said in that I agreed with, and all of that advice was extremely applicable to myself. And I hope other graduates feel that way as well. But mainly, as I'm about to finish recording this, I want to say thank you so much to anyone who's watched this or has been watching any Wavelength videos. If you're just now watching this for the first time, maybe because this applies to you, hello. Again, I'm Shayna from Wavelength. We're a student-run media group on campus at WW, Western Washington University. Our goal is basically to make media for students by students. And yeah, I've worked here since my freshman year. So I've been at Western for 3 years and 6 months. But I just want to say that my experience at Western was so gratifying. I really feel like I went through like how college should be experienced. I've met so many people. I've done so many things. I've gone on so many trips. I've learned so much. I love the school so much. The staff, the faculty, all the students. Western is really just like such a wonderful place, and people can truly be themselves on campus, which is so wonderful. If you're maybe watching this in preparation and you still have like a few years left at school, or maybe just a year left, just enjoy it. However many years that you're going to be at Western, usually these years are pretty transformative. I came in when I was 18 and now I'm 22, and I really feel like I have changed into like a person that I'm very proud of being. The point is to find yourself, is to be yourself. Now's the time to make mistakes and learn from them, get heartbroken and then get better, learn what you like. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This is my last time making a video for Wavelength, and I will continue to support them from aside. Thank you all so much. I've had an extremely wonderful time at Western, and yeah, time to go live our lives. Bye, guys.